Hey listeners, welcome back to CuboldCast. Today we'll be talking about our favorite indie games. So, what'd you guys think about the start of the new Mandalorian series?
It's off to a really good start so far.
The first one of the season was so good. I haven't seen the second one, so
It was 50 minutes long, 50-something minutes long, and they had so much more time to put landscape shots and just like exposition shots.
The CGI in it is incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How? It's so good. Like I don't know. It's up there with like the top movies.
Like you guys watched like things on how they actually created the show, right?
Yeah.
With the giant screen.
Don't they have a bigger
the 360
one
screen?
now?
They might.
They use Unreal Engine 4,
Really?
to create some of the scenes.
That's cool.
I wonder how they actually made the creature. We're not going to spoil it for everybody who hasn't seen it, but I wonder how they created the creature, like inside that bubble of the area that they were in. They were like the screen area.
I'm curious.
I don't know.
I'm curious if the actors were able to see it.
I don't
To an
know.
extent.
That would be crazy.
Maybe on
That
the
would make it-
screen.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't know. That would make it so much more. I feel like that makes acting easier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, actually, that was one of the criticisms of the prequel trilogy, was that they all had to act in front of blue screens and green screens.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very flat with their acting because they couldn't visualize what they were acting with.
Yeah. But this is somewhat of a new method, isn't it?
It
Because
is
the Avengers
very new.
movies, that's still
Very
green screen,
new.
right?
Mm-hmm. This is
The guy,
John Favreau.
he's
He directed Iron Man, right?
he was also
Yeah.
in Iron Man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's
the-
happy.
yeah.
He directed the Lion King movie too. He did it with this method. But he set this method up pretty much. They built systems for it.
It's really cool,
I
actually.
think it's smart, and I think it's just gonna make acting for big movies, big set movies, just be a lot better.
Well, it would
Yeah.
also save them money
Yeah,
because they don't
true.
have to pay for props. Well, obviously they do have to pay for props, but like areas, they don't
Yeah.
have to fly the people to, let's say, Greenland or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, it can be a lot
They-
more centralized.
Yeah, literally, they could just keep it in one area.
But what I think is crazy is there will be scenes where the Mandalorian's in a city. You can't tell what's real and what's fake because you know some of them are real because he interacts with them. But the stuff in the background, you can't tell if they're fake or not.
yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy. I do want to say that the music in this one episode that I saw, is better than the music in the entire first season.
I know you
Yeah.
haven't seen the second episode, but the music is like
good
just
too.
as good.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I
really
don't-
good.
I don't know who's the composer, but it's incredible.
Yeah, I know Chug was saying that it wasn't as good. And, well, that's because it's not like their flagship episode.
The second
There's-
episode,
Yeah, I mean, it was still good, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the crazy CGI.
they have to do
Masterpiece.
that for the first episode.
It's a filler episode.
Yeah.
The second one's a filler episode.
yeah.
Well,
pretty
I
much.
wouldn't say it's filler because it is important to the story.
That is
For
true.
what happened.
but it's not directly in the storyline. You mean like it's kind of like off to a different area, but it ties in at the end or something.
Nothing that you think will happen in this episode.
Yeah.
It was kind of a funny episode.
It was.
There were a couple parts
Oh,
with
I
the
like
child.
that.
Yeah, I'm not
I
gonna
didn't
spoil
see
it.
too
but-
much of the child in the first
He's
one.
he's a lot more centralized in this one.
Mhm.
That's so-
I actually loved it.
Yeah, the first episode was amazing. I still got to watch the second one. I'll probably do it later today if I have
It's,
time.
it's not as long. I think it's like 30, 40 minutes.
But still, it's longer than last season's episodes.
Mm-hmm. Aren't they making an Obi-Wan show?
A
Coming
couple
out
years.
next summer if they didn't delay it.
I'm excited for that.
Me too. If it's Ewan McGregor,
It is. I'm pretty sure
It's
it
gotta
is.
be.
Yeah.
It's
It
gotta
needs
be.
to be.
I saw this short film of this guy playing Obi-Wan on Tatooine. It's supposed to be like how Obi-Wan watched over Luke. And it was a pretty good short film. It's like an indie film.
Mhm.
And if it's anything like the Obi-Wan show is going to be, then it's going to be really good.
How long was it?
10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe.
Hmm.
It was really impressive. CGI was good. The guy did a good job acting as Obi-Wan.
I don't know why, but I've been having this craving to play Battlefront 2. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because of the time of year. Because remember when it came out, it was
It
like,
was like November.
yeah, November, and I think it was like during Thanksgiving break. We had nothing to do basically,
Oh.
so we just grinded it like 60 hours in a week or two.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
I
It
love
really
it.
is a good game.
I don't know why, but I've been wanting to play it lately, so maybe I'll have to reinstall that.
Yes.
Stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
What's today? Oh, okay.
It's Saturday.
It'll have to be next week. We do still have to finish the Raft, though. The Raft
yeah.
chapters.
So speaking of, as you said, Raft,
Yeah.
that is an indie game.
A good one, too.
It's a very good indie game. But this what brings us into our podcast today.
Yeah. We could start with Raft, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, Raft is better than the other game that the studio developed, which was Scrap Mechanic.
Yeah. I wasn't impressed with that game.
It's so weird. Like even Ben and Avon ended up saying that it had its issues. I think that the concept was so interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was so good. They killed it because you needed too many materials, too many resources to make the easiest things.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
you would starve.
before we get super far into the podcast, this podcast is going to be very relaxed. We're going to be talking about our favorite indie games.
Yeah. We came up with this topic because recently all of us have bought and played a lot of indie games, and the big budget games come out later in the year, like November, December. So, and we're excited for like Cold War.
Yes.
Yeah, coming out next week, actually.
That is definitely not an indie game.
Oh,
no,
I'm so
definitely
excited.
not. Maybe we'll do a podcast on it if it's good.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
zombies
We're
and stuff.
definitely going to do a podcast on it.
Zombies.
Yeah. But we've been playing a ton of indie games, and some of them are just so good. We wanted to talk about them.
Yeah. So I don't like Scrap Mechanic. I don't want to get on that train because I'm just gonna bash it. And
Well, the thing about Scrap Mechanic is it was originally more of a sandbox style game that they decided to throw survival on.
Yeah.
It was never planned, as far as I know. I don't know a lot about the game, but it seemed like an afterthought,
yeah,
and that's why it didn't.
that's actually
turn out
I
very
looked
good.
at Scrap Mechanic years ago, and the reason I didn't buy it was because it was only in creative. But then now that when the survival came out, I was excited, and then I got it, and it was at first it was fun, but it was a complete disappointment.
Because you spent a lot of hours just trying to make a video, right?
Yeah, I did a couple tutorials on it. And it was absolutely horrible. I mean, I'm being dramatic, but like even making a simple car, it took me forever. And not to make it because the wiring and all that was easy. It was getting the materials. It's just so tedious. But on the other side, Raft is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the concept of building up your raft to be as big as you want. As unrealistic as it is, it's still awesome. You can make this giant floating
Physics
fortress.
just goes out of the window.
Yeah,
completely.
you can have one piece of raft supporting it at the bottom, and then this massive mushroom of a base up top.
When we played, we never really built our base or our raft that large.
Not yet.
Well, we built it to the point where we had everything we needed.
Yeah.
But
Didn't you go back and see it?
I did, and it was so small.
Really?
It was
Ours now
very
is bigger?
small. It's about the same size.
Huh.
Actually, maybe a little bit bigger. Ours now is a little bit bigger, but ours when we played before, it was very small. Like we had one room on the bottom,
Yeah,
enough
I
for
remember
like
that.
4 or 5 different beds. There was like a shark trophy in there. Then up on the upper deck, we had like the
Radio station.
radio
or
station stuff
what
and
was
that
that?
kind of thing.
That map thing.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Computer or whatever.
didn't we do a podcast on Raft?
I think we did.
It was the very first game we played on our channel.
Did we really?
We might have done a
I'm
podcast
not
on it.
sure.
It sounds familiar.
We're gonna have to
It
look
might have
at
been one of the
our
first
previous
episodes.
podcasts because I don't know if we did.
Oh my goodness! I know we did one on Sea of Thieves. That was
We
our first
did, yeah.
one.
Yeah, it was Sea of Thieves because we played that around the time that. Turn your phone off, boy.
What in the world?
We did that around the time that we started the channel.
Yeah. I don't know. That's so weird. Did we really do one on Raft?
We might
I
have.
don't know. I'm not
I know
sure.
Sea of Thieves for sure. That might have been our starting episode.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you're thinking of Sea of Thieves because it's very
That's possible, yeah.
very
we did Sea of
water-based.
Thieves, PUBG, Ark, Star Wars Battlefront 2, No Man's Sky, Rust.
Yeah, maybe we didn't think Raft merited a full podcast episode then.
Yeah, maybe we mentioned it.
Once we finish chapter 2, we might be to the point where it's worth a dedicated podcast.
Yeah. But the reason we like indie games so much is that you can tell all of the love that the developers put into it.
Definitely, yeah.
It's not the whole, oh, let's just throw loot boxes in to get more money
Oh my goodness.
type thing.
Yeah.
It's, you can see all the little details and you can appreciate all the work the developers put into it.
I think to go off of that, it's it's like dilution. Like the smaller the team, the more you feel like personality in the game.
It's like they're saying too many cooks spoiled the soup.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is for bigger games sometimes.
Yeah. It's not to say that we don't like AAA games.
Oh, no, we love them.
It's just there's a different feel that you get from indie games.
Well, look at PUBG.
Yeah. Well,
Like it's not indie anymore.
Or is it double A?
It used to be indie, and then when it got to a big corporation level, that's when the downfall started.
Yeah. Yeah. I jumped into that. It's weird. I always hated playing solos on PUBG, so it's like I can't really give a full like personal opinion on it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to play with a couple people, but when I jumped into it, it was absolutely insane. Like I died so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like before where, you get shot and then you get behind cover. It was like I died and I don't know where it came from.
Well, I think that's just the case of a game being around so long. There's people that play it since the beginning.
Yeah.
And they're just too good at it.
I want to get like some other people to play with so I can kind of get like a better idea. Maybe I can survive longer or something, but solos, I never really liked them and I hate them now, jumping back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I actually used to play solos all the time because I was the first one who got PUBG, and I would just play solos by myself, and then everyone else got it, and they started playing. But they tried to copy Fortnite on too many levels with PUBG.
And PUBG
After
came
the fact.
first.
It was after the fact, too.
Yeah, they saw the success of Fortnite and decided, hey, let's put our own dances in the game, that was not their player base.
Well, the Battle Pass, that was a whole nother issue
Loot
entirely.
boxes. And
those were a
the
scam.
keys with the beige skins.
they were a scam.
Beige crossbow skin.
Yes.
I think we mentioned that so many times in other podcasts.
Yeah.
Because it's just so bad.
I know. It
was so bad that we still talk about it now, years later. I think the issue with PUBG and how they changed their entire game was they were going after a different demographic. They were going after the kids that wanted a free game. That's not their game. That's
it was
not
paid
PUBG.
too.
Yeah, it's still paid to this day.
Yeah, they were trying to appeal to a younger, less financially backed demographic that likes Fortnite, while still holding the cover of being a $30 game. It just didn't work. They should have just appealed to their base.
Because I think I bought it when I was like 15.
Make it
It's
free.
30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like either make it free or take out the season pass.
I feel like if it was free, all that loot box stuff would just ramp up. Well, it's already at that point anyway, so it really wouldn't change. And it was just they lost a lot of their base.
Yeah.
I feel like most games that came out of that era are becoming free now. Like, I mean, Destiny 2, that was like a couple years ago. That went free.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket League, came out years ago. That finally went free recently.
Now, even though that was paid, that still had DLCs and loot boxes. But it wasn't to the point where it was obtrusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, basically, you'd get these boxes and you'd have to buy keys to open them.
Yeah.
But if you never opened them, it wouldn't even make a difference.
Well, JJ, I know you and we actually bought cars.
Well, those are DLC packs.
We bought DLC packs for cars in the past because we actually generally wanted them.
But it was more than just skins. It was actual vehicles that had different stats and different cosmetics to go with those vehicles. It's different than buying skins that just change the look of your gun.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, sorry, I kind of zoned out on that. So wait, it was only just skins and they weren't
In Rocket
intrusive.
League?
Yeah.
No. Rocket League, their DLCs are different cars. It's like buying different operators, I guess. Even though they're not hugely different.
Yeah.
Some are different sizes. They're not faster than each
So
other.
like weight,
Some are, yeah.
speed.
They are?
Yeah, weight, speed, size. Like the bigger ones are good for
like you can get
pushing people.
you can get a
ball.
creeper van looking thing that's like really slow, but it hits the ball really far.
And you destroy people faster.
Yeah.
Wait, you can destroy other cars?
Yeah, it's called a demolition.
Huh.
If you speed up really fast and you're boosting and you boost into someone, they blow up.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that is technically an indie game, right?
Not
Not anymore.
actually,
I don't know. Well, I can look it up.
Well, it was like Psionics or something.
Yeah,
it was
that's
some
the developer.
random indie developer or something, and I think they created Rocket League. So it might be an indie game. I'm not sure.
I mean, now it's free on Epic.
Right. I know for sure. I don't know. That's weird. Well, the developers are the publishers, with help from Panic Button Games. Never heard of it.
I don't know what they are.
I think they are indie games then. It is an indie game technically.
That game's been out for a while too.
Yeah.
It has. It's fun. Have you tried it before?
I played it once a couple years ago with Ben on the Switch.
Yeah, JJ and I used to be really into it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I used to be really good at it.
It looks fun. Maybe I'll have to pick it up. I know Green Banana from the Discord's been asking everyone to play, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd play it.
I'd be down for that, yeah.
We should do what is
Tournaments.
That? Yeah, tournaments between
That'd be
Cubold
fun.
people on our
Yeah.
Discord server.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, because you can set up private servers and have like championships.
Speaking of tournaments, this is something I thought of the other day. There's a game mode you can play in Terraria. It's not like from the menu or anything, but it's a game mode that you set up yourself called Capture the Gem. And basically, you create hardcore characters and you download a map. And a hardcore character is a character that when it dies, it gets deleted. So you get like a cool map with castles and stuff. And each side there's a gem in each chest. And there are specific gems in game for Capture the Gem. So when a player has the gem, you see it floating above their head. So you can see it. But basically you start out with a couple starting weapons and it's like Capture the Flag, but in Terraria.
Huh.
And you have to steal the other person's gem and bring it back to your base.
That's actually cool.
Yeah.
That would be
I used to
fun.
watch people play that all the time, and it looks so fun.
We should set that up for the Discord.
We
You should.
But it's something that doesn't continuously run. Unless you say no digging. You can make a no digging map, but then that's no fun.
Yeah. It would be set up on like play-by-play basis, right? Just like if we decided to play
Yeah.
it one night, then
Like tournaments or something, and then
Yeah.
we have a grand prize for whoever wins.
we stream
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun, yeah.
But I want to do more tournaments and stuff like that with the Discord server.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had a Switch and everyone else had a Switch. Obviously, it's not going to happen because they're kind of expensive. Well, not really, but sort of. For Smash tournaments.
Yeah.
But then again, it would I feel like the level of skill would be like all over the place.
Mhm.
It just wouldn't really be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like if they made a way that you can actually, like in Steam, you could do a thing called remote play where you almost give another computer control.
yeah, you have to do that with player what is it? Totally reliable delivery service.
Yeah.
That game.
But it's you can either give them control of your computer or no, not of your computer, of your game you're playing. So you can let them either play it, or if it's a multiplayer or co-op game, you can actually give them control of another player. So you could do like split screen co-op or something like that.
Yeah, that's what happens in that game. It does a split screen. It's kind of weird. I wish it wasn't like that because me and Ben played it for a while.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
actually really cool. If they did something like that, if we could find a way to do that with Smash Bros, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think they have that.
No, not for Switch.
No, I doubt they would. Anyway, it's Nintendo.
They're stingy.
They're
Yeah,
strict
true.
on everything.
So we did that remote play thing with Spelunky the other day.
Yeah.
Chug and I. Spelunky's really fun. It's a really fun indie game where basically it's randomly generated mines and you have to blow your way through with bombs or climb with ropes. And the goal is to get to the end of the game, obviously. But in between, there are these ladies or like guys, whatever you set it to rescue. And they're called the damsel in distress. And when you finish the level, they give you a kiss, and that kiss is an extra life. And so you have to rescue that person to get more lives, or you could just skip it. But it's really fun because there are tons of secrets and stuff that you learn the more you play.
I was watching you play. It looked really fun.
Yeah, and Chug and I had it on PS3 a long time ago. We got it for free, and I wasn't super into it. But I saw a video on YouTube recently. It was called something like Good Game Design Spelunky. And I didn't realize how much content there was packed into it. And that made me really interested in it. And I started playing it more, and it's addicting.
Yeah, it looks really fun. It was funny when I was watching you play. You would grab the damsel and just throw them at the traps.
Yeah, you grab her and literally just like chuck her into an arrow trap so you don't get injured by it.
I feel like that's how I would use it. Just as an extra meat shield.
Well, she can take 2 arrows before she dies. So you can just use for 1 arrow.
That's so funny.
It's awesome.
It's
The
a
game's
fun
really
game.
cool.
It's a
Yeah,
fun game.
Spelunky 2 just came out.
Yeah, it looks interesting actually.
Did you know the first Spelunky came out in 2008? And then they remastered it.
Yeah.
It was Pixel in 2008. And then when they remastered it, they had more graphical stuff.
What is
That's
the
really cool.
What does the second one add?
What do you mean?
Like, what is the second split
Rating?
at? Yeah, well, is it like any different or is it the same thing?
No, basically, like the idea is instead of like going underground, you're on a different planet. But it's the same basic mechanics. And I saw another video by the same guy who did that good game design one, saying how the first game was like perfection, but this one reinvents perfection in a good way. So
I kind of want to get the first one, try it out.
It's
then
really
show
cheap.
what
It's
this
probably
is.
cheap somewhere on G2A or something.
Yeah, probably. What is it? What's that one game you mentioned? Another World. It's like Terraria but space.
Starbound?
Oh, Starbound.
That looks so fun.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it as much, but there is a ton of content.
It looks so cool. I don't know. I was watching Ben play it a couple months ago.
Yeah,
It
it's
just looks so
No
cool.
Man's Sky combined with Terraria, because you get a spaceship that you can customize however you want, and then there's an infinite number of planets you can explore. So it's basically No Man's Sky, but with Terraria
it's
style.
like having one character in Terraria and you can access as many worlds as you want. Is that what it is like?
Kind of, but every planet's different.
Yeah. It looks, I don't know. It looked like Terraria just in space. To me, I don't know. There's probably a lot of differences between them.
Yeah.
I think the main reason I haven't gotten into it is because it's more building focused as opposed to Terraria's combat focus.
Yeah.
And the combat in Starbound isn't really that great. It's a
Yeah.
little annoying sometimes. So that always kind of turned me off from it. But
Yeah.
there is a lot of really cool stuff in it.
You mentioned No Man's Sky. How about we talk a little bit about that?
We did a podcast on that too.
Yeah,
Is that
we
an indie
did.
game?
Well, how about now? It is an indie game, yeah.
Huh.
Hello
Still
Games?
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had any backing from
I-
anyone else.
I recently played it again.
How?
I started a stream with Sam actually
When was that?
a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Really?
I started a stream with it, and then
Oh,
I
I
think
remember
I
that.
think he bailed on me because it got really boring.
that was my
um,
issue. It was just such a drag.
Yeah, and
There's
so
not
I
a
was
lot
just
to
like,
do.
I think I just played like Modern Warfare or something after.
Now they have giant exo suits.
They've had that for a while.
Yeah, and then they have they just did another update. I forget what it is, but they added more animals. Like the worlds are more lively now. Like I saw it was in the trailer. I mean, granted, in the trailer we've seen what's in that trailer before. I mean, I think they learned their lesson, but
Yeah.
a giant like worm thing just started eating through the world or whatever. And like you can kill it and fight it. So
What's up with giant worms and everything lately? What's
I
up
don't
with
know.
things
No,
giant worms going through the sand? I
Dune.
don't know.
I'm not gonna say the other thing because we don't want to spoil things.
Yeah, it's
Um,
recently I've seen
oh,
so
yeah.
much of that.
Noita. There are worms in Noita, which we haven't talked about that yet. Basically, it's like Terraria style gameplay, but the physics are incredible. Like you'll have a fire wand, and there will be a giant pool of oil, and you can shoot your fireball into there, and the entire thing will go up in flames.
But the game is all pixelated.
yeah, it's amazing.
isn't
the
it
physics.
that every pixel or something has or can be moved? I forget what it is.
It
It's
could
all
be
destructible.
destroyed. It could be set on fire. It could be blown up.
I don't know what it is, but like I haven't played this game. I don't have it yet, but I mean, you two have played it. But from like the trailer I saw, it almost looks different from other pixel games.
Yeah,
I don't know what
because
it is.
they make the pixels dynamic.
Yeah,
Makes
way-
it feel real.
The way the cape looks on the main player, it looks like it's 3D, but it's not. They just did such a good job with animating everything, including physics.
Well, the game recently just came out of early access. A lot of these indie games that we've been playing have been out for years,
yeah.
and they finally release them and they perfect them.
Wait, how long was it in early access for?
Like
1 to 2 years.
Or was it? I thought it was like 3 or 4.
Oh, maybe.
Did it just start getting some traction lately because it came
Yeah.
out?
I mean, I
'Cause it
saw a
came
lot of
out, yeah.
videos from like a year ago, and it was popular then, but when it was released, it got a big boost in popularity. And honestly, I wish I had heard about it before because I love those kinds of games.
Yeah. I said this before we started recording, but I feel like more people should play pixel games and like
Yeah.
8-bit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention what I have to look at the title because I keep forgetting.
Oh, there's something I want to mention after.
Realm of the Mad God Exalt.
Yes.
That's another game that I actually put in I just made a video top 10 free open world games. I was so surprised. I mean, I didn't play too long of it, but I was so surprised. I didn't want to get off.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have to get off because I have to play other games to put them on the list for footage. But But playing this one, it's just so much fun. Like you go into a dungeon or a cave and you fight and like loot and stuff. It's also
It's a
permadeath.
roguelike, right?
Yeah, it's permadeath. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It was so fun. It's like it's just another way to look at pixel games and see that they actually are sustainable and have a lot of content.
I love the games that you start playing and you're only like thinking about, I'm gonna play for like 20 minutes and just to see how it is.
Yeah.
Then you end up playing for like 2 hours. You're like,
Yeah.
what happened?
The main thing about Noita is it's spell crafting. So basically, you get different wands that have different stats. Like one wand will shoot really quickly, or another one will have a ton of mana to support powerful spells. And you can combine them. Like one is a fireball spell, but you can put a modifier on it that shoots 3 spells at once, or that turns your spell bouncy and stuff like that. Some wands have like 15 slots for different things. And so by the time you get to the last spell on the list, it's just completely different. It's really cool.
It looks really awesome.
I wish it was
wanna try
multiplayer.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
There's probably some sort of mod out there.
This is really off topic, but I kind of want to throw it in just because we're so relaxed today. How about the new AMD chips?
Oh,
Those look pretty amazing.
so good.
I know. I've been trying to get one. I should have bought it on launch, but I didn't.
You might not have been able to.
Probably not, honestly.
People just sit there on the buy section,
spamming
just
the buy
waiting.
I was just waiting for third-party reviews and third-party statistics because I saw it in the reveal, but I didn't. Not that I don't trust AMD, I just wanted to see it from a different perspective.
Well, I watched.
I don't often trust the manufacturers.
Yeah,
I watched Linus's video and I was like, I sent it to both
they're
of you,
insane.
and I was just like, look at this.
They're actually
It's like
insane.
from the 10900K, the Intel, the 9500X,
The 5900X?
5900X. Sorry,
The names are
the
weird.
names are stupid. The 5900X gets about 5 to 10, maybe even more frames than the 10900K,
which
is like Intel's top of the line right now.
Yeah. And then there's
the
the
5950X, which gets about 10 to 15 frames more than the 5900.
It's
insane.
insane.
Which means 20 to 25 frames difference from Intel's top of the line.
I'll probably get the 5900X because the difference between the 50, like they're somewhat comparable in some statistics. I sent you one video, but the 5900X is slightly lower than the 5950X, but it's $250 cheaper.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to
literally
spend
$550
$800 on a CPU.
Ew, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the next couple months, maybe up to Christmas, like past that, the chips will probably be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Not until the demand goes down.
True.
Yeah, they're going to be, they're already out of stock. So
Chug and I are hoping Intel comes up with something that's comparable because that would drop the price more.
true, yeah.
And I mean, if Intel can
When are
manage
their
to
next
beat
chips?
those, that would be even better.
Yeah.
But
when are
if
the chips coming out though?
Don't know.
The 11 series, is that out or is that
It's coming out.
I thought it was like
It's
late
something.
next year?
It's something Lake. It's something
Yeah, I
Lake. I
remember.
forgot what the name of it was.
Was it? I
They
thought
have
it
a
was
lot of late
late
ones.
next year though, like November.
Oh,
same
maybe.
time.
Maybe.
If that's the case, we'll just get AMD.
But Li-
we'll most
Linus-
likely get AMDs.
Linus said, or in his video when I was watching it, he said that based on what Intel has said, like they said they're going to have like a 10 to 15% increase or something like that.
It's gonna be like the same.
It's going to be just comparable to AMD if they go off those numbers. So they're really going to have to boost it, which I'm pretty sure they're probably a little worried now.
But if
Yeah.
AMD's cheaper when those come out,
Yeah,
I mean-
AMD has always undercut Intel with price, except for now.
yeah,
It's like $20. Well, the 5900X is like $20 more than the
no,
what, 10?
it's $550 and the 10900K is about $500.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
like $50
$50. Okay.
A couple years ago, I built a PC just for fun with a Ryzen chip in it. And I wasn't impressed with the performance. And I think I bought like the top of the line, not a Threadripper, but I got the best of what I could get then.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't anywhere close to my i7.
Yeah, they've come a long way.
Yeah. I
I
remember
built-
when people were talking about that they'd be the Intel killer a couple years ago.
Yeah.
If that's the case now, then definitely switch to Intel. Or
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
sorry, AMD.
The data shows that it's better.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't personally seen with our own eyes comparable stats, but I
It's
mean,
data.
yeah, whatever. Data. No,
Nah,
we haven't
people say
actually.
different
We
words.
actually haven't like
Duda.
in
I
our
like Duda.
in
Yeah,
our
me
own
too.
eyes, like we haven't had a motherboard with each chip, and we haven't compared it like the people.
Oh
do.
yeah.
So we don't really know exactly
Yeah.
if they're.
There's been
being
some
serious or not?
variability between the statistics. Some people have higher numbers. Some people
Well, that's
have
called the silicon lottery.
some people have slightly lower. So either way, they're all above Intel. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard that term?
No. What is
Silicon lottery. Basically, the quality of the chips will vary from chip to chip.
Hmm.
So some people might get better quality silicon. in there.
yeah. Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
So like some people might win the silicon lottery and have this amazing performing CPU, and others are not as great, but
Yeah.
still good.
Yeah. When I built my mom's computer, the chip felt so beefy. It felt so good. Like it was so chunky.
The
Maybe that's-
Ryzen.
Yeah, maybe that's because that one was a 30 something G, and it was like it had integrated graphics. Actually, I think the best integrated graphics yet.
Really?
Well,
Yeah, it
your
has 2 gigs of VRAM.
your i5 doesn't have integrated.
I have no idea. I'm not sure. I have a 6700K.
Do you have a K? Okay,
Yeah.
if
K
you have a
does.
K, then it has integrated.
Okay, then yeah, probably.
We're probably boring some people who
Yeah,
are.
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
get back to the indie games. I just wanted to mention it because it was, I don't know, it just came, the numbers just came out Thursday, I think. So
Yeah.
anyway, so what were we talking about?
One game I wanted to mention is Dwarf Fortress.
I've never heard of it.
Dwarf Fortress is a game that came out in maybe 2001, 2003, one of those years. And it's known as one of the most complicated games of all time because the guy's been working on it since then,
Still?
consistently. Yeah.
Wow, that's dedication.
It's literally insane. I've been playing another indie game called RimWorld, where it's like a civilization builder, but that doesn't even touch Dwarf Fortress. Because before you even start, the game generates 50 years of lore in your world. In your
What?
yeah.
Generates?
It generates it, like the rise and fall of different civilizations. Now, the thing with Dwarf Fortress is that the graphics are currently symbols.
Symbols.
Symbols, as in like exclamation points,
What?
commas. Yeah, those are the graphics.
I'm checking it now. I want to see what this looks like.
But the game is being released with full graphics on Steam sometime next year.
What?
And when that comes out, I'm buying it for sure.
Hold on. So what I'm seeing right now is what is it? Typography?
It's called ASCII.
And it's made with all
Those are symbols, ASCII symbols.
what?
But yeah, basically there are multiple levels of typography. So, like, let's say you establish your dwarfs in a mountain. Well, you can go several layers underground and several layers above ground with that too.
What in the world? How does this even work?
I played it one time, and before I started, I watched like several hours of tutorials just to know how to play.
So
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so what is it? Like a kingdom builder?
It's a story builder.
So,
So
wait.
you can do whatever you want. You can establish your dwarfs and create a giant kingdom. The new release on Steam is adding an RPG mode, which lets you explore the world as a single dwarf adventurer.
What?
Yeah.
So it generates procedurally generates 50 years of lore.
Yeah, or however many years you set.
How?
It's crazy.
This
Crazy
guy's a
complicated.
genius or something?
I don't know, but it's known as one of the most complicated games of all time.
It's ridiculous.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
It took me several hours just to learn how to play.
This looks really fun.
And I did play it for a while, and it was really cool. There's just so much involved
I might
with
just
it.
wait for the Steam release.
I'm going to buy it on launch because I've
How
been
much is
waiting
that going
for
to be?
$20.
Oh wow.
But the game has been free for all this time. And actually, the only reason the guy is releasing it is because he needs to pay for medical bills.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And basically, he's bracing for the fact that it may sell several million copies on launch. And
Wow.
he doesn't know what to do with himself with that. Like he doesn't know how to handle millions of dollars right off the bat.
Wow.
my.
He must be really low key on stuff like that.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty humble guy. Like
Yeah.
he releases videos of him talking about the new features of the Steam thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's just sitting in his house and like doesn't look like anything fancy. And he seems like a pretty nice guy. But it's weird that he hasn't monetized it or anything.
Let's have him on the podcast.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
Actually, let's write that down maybe.
Yeah. I mean, if he seems like a relaxed guy, then he might not have any of that, like, what do you call it? I don't know what you call it. Press. I don't know.
Arrogance?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. So, I don't know. That sounds really cool. I'll be looking into that when it releases.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's on my wish list. There's no date yet, but people think next year because there are just so many systems he has to create, like graphic systems for it.
Mm-hmm. Is it going to
Wow.
be like insanely good graphics or is it just basic?
It's still
No,
pixel, right?
enough so you can see things better, but still, it's still going to be as complicated.
Yeah, that's cool.
Huh.
I'm really interested in that game because the game RimWorld I've been playing is already decently complicated, but nowhere near Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
Chug, you've been playing Hades, right?
Yes.
You should talk about that a little bit.
The game is amazing. I know you guys, you've never seen gameplay of it.
I actually don't know what it is. I
Um,
think you explained it a little bit.
It's really confusing, but it's also very, very intriguing at the same time. So basically, what the point of the game is, you're in the underworld, and your name is Zagreus, and you're the son of Hades, like the son of the leader of the underworld.
Yeah.
And the point of the game is you want to escape the underworld, and you go through these tunnels and defeat enemies and stuff. But along the way, all these Greek gods help you. Like you can get power ups from like Zeus, Diogenes, which is like the god of wine, like Artemis. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
It's like Greek mythology.
Yeah, but it's super interesting.
Wait, so you're in hell the whole game?
Until you beat it.
Oh, okay.
Once you escape hell,
Don't spoil.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying once you escape it, you're like on the surface.
Is it all red or whatever?
No, it's not all red. It's not like what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first area is like a very, very temple-ish place.
Yeah.
Then the next one is like all lava.
I've seen Chug play it, but I haven't played it myself. But I have to say the graphic style is one of the coolest I've ever seen. It's like anime style,
I kind of want to,
but better.
I
kind of want to see.
I've been
it.
playing it, but I streamed it one night and you never watched.
Did you really?
I did.
When was that?
No, not streamed. Like I streamed it in the Discord and you
okay.
didn't watch.
Oh wow.
But the basic thing about the game is you never die, but you do.
What do you mean?
So
Like the gods never die; they just get resurrected.
yeah. So death is how you progress.
Mm-hmm.
So basically there's
Wait.
this pool of sticks, which is like this blood pool.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you die in the underworld, you get sent back to this blood pool and you get resurrected in it.
Yeah.
But you're not dead.
So it kind of just brings you back.
It's a roguelike.
No, it's a roguelite.
Oh.
Roguelite,
Difference
sorry.
between a roguelike and a roguelite is that in roguelikes, death is permanent, and roguelites, there's actually some sort of progression you can take, kind of like Risk of Rain 2. It's actually, I was researching it a bit. There's a game called Rogue from, I think, the 80s, 90s, and that's where the term came from. So it's kind of like saying Souls-like.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, a roguelite, you actually can progress in some ways.
Yeah, as you play, you get these shards called darkness, and you could place them into this called the Mirror of Night, and it permanently upgrades you in some ways, however you want. And then you get 6 different weapons, and each weapon has, I think, 4 different aspects to it that give you different upgrades. And there's also that change up. So every time you try to escape, it's different.
Yeah.
But you go through the same worlds, but you have different power-ups. Like,
It's all hand-drawn, right?
This
I think so.
it looks really cool.
It's by the same people who did Bastion. I don't know if you guys know.
No,
but,
I don't.
and Transistor.
Bastion was a mobile game,
Mm-hmm.
but
This
it's also
looks-
on Steam too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
I got to stream it for you one night so you could see.
Yeah. The
But-
graphical style is so good.
And
It's like
guess what it has on Steam? Like the reviews.
overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah. 98%.
You find that a lot with some of the small indie games that are above you or pixelated.
It's ridiculous.
It's
when was
because
the last time you saw a AAA game with overwhelmingly positive? Like,
Witcher
have you seen
3,
any?
Witcher 3,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
BioShock.
Okay.
Was that AAA? Like, what did it?
Mm.
Who made it when it first came out?
I don't know.
I'm checking it now.
I'm
I don't
trying
know.
to think.
I want to say it's wait. Some people are calling Infinite AAA.
Yeah, but that didn't get overwhelmingly positive. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the first game,
For what?
like the first BioShock.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one that go overwhelmingly.
I don't
Yeah.
know what studio did BioShock.
a lot of people are saying AAA. I forget. I don't know
Yeah.
the studio either.
Maybe the first BioShock wasn't AAA when that came out.
I think it was.
It was
Probably. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Okay.
developers, but
I know Amnesia got. Is that? I don't know if that's
Uh,
indie
Amnesia.
I think it was indie.
It is indie.
because that got overwhelmingly positive. I'm trying to think. 'cause
First
that
one or
was
the second one?
the first one?
Oh,
the
it's by-
second one got
BioShock
like,
was
very
by 2K
positive.
Games.
Oh,
that's
okay,
definitely
yeah.
AAA.
Oh, Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 got overwhelmingly positive.
Mhm.
So
There are a few. Yeah.
there's not that many.
Yeah.
And that's just on Steam. I don't know what the what people think on consoles and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
But most indie games come out on PC.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easier platform to get into.
definitely.
And the majority of overwhelmingly positive reviews are probably on indie games.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's like I'm a person who doesn't review games on Steam unless I really like the game.
Yeah.
I only reviewed like 1 or 2 games. But there's a lot more people that don't review that could put more into it and that could bring it up higher.
Yeah.
But they just don't.
It could be
'Cause
that
they're too
some
lazy.
a lot of people are probably maybe expecting a little more from the AAA games, and a lot of times they just come short.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, also we've been saying this a lot in the podcast. It's like when you're given a small amount of tools, a lot of times you're more creative with them, and that's what
Yeah.
happens with indie games.
But with Hades, it actually officially came out. It's been early access in a few years.
Mm.
For
Why haven't I heard of it? That's the odd thing.
Because
Did they just not market it?
Over time, I think more people played it, and when it finally released, this goes for any game, that I feel like all the streamers finally made it. What is the word? Popular.
Like Among Us? But I don't think that was early access.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know Among Us got popular after a certain streamer played it.
But
But
there's a ton of early access games out there that has so much potential.
Yeah, definitely.
So much potential. Like, it's ridiculous.
I think the industry has shifted now where it's honestly to the point where you should just expect a game to come out in early access before it fully releases,
Yeah.
unless it's AAA or AA.
well, early access is a really good opportunity for smaller studios
Yeah,
because they can get development funded as they play.
But it's
Yeah.
also
Or
a
as they
bad
develop.
idea
And
for certain
feedback.
studios, though.
Yeah.
For certain games, it might be a bad idea, though.
Like what?
I'm trying to think. Like, I thought there was one specific one that I was thinking of, but I forgot what it was.
I think a good example would probably be PUBG. I think because it was in early access, and I think all of the hype was in its early access state.
Yeah.
I mean, when it released, it still was hyped, but after that point, it just kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with PUBG is that it became too successful. It
Mhm.
was the most played game on Steam for a
It
little
was,
bit.
yeah.
Still,
I think it's one of the
it's
most
still
played.
at number 3 or 4.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still popular, but I think the loss of some of its charm happened when it became corporate, when they established PUBG Corp,
Mm.
and they took it to the corporate level
Yeah,
as opposed to just a small studio level.
yeah, definitely.
And then their goal was to please investors and stuff like that, as opposed to let's just create what's good for the game.
Yeah, it's sad,
Yeah.
but it happens.
But most of the time, early access is good for the game
That
and
is
for the
true.
developer.
Hmm.
There's a game I really like that came out on mobile first called The Silent Age. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
It's a point and click style game, but it has to do with, it's set in the 80s and it has to do with time travel. So you find this little device and you go throughout the environments that are all hand drawn. And let's say like there's a plant blocking your way. Well, you have this device that puts you in the past or the future. So you can go into the past and kill the plant with some chemical or something.
Mhm.
Then you go into the future and it's not there anymore. And so it has to do with what you do in the past affects the future.
Hmm.
And there's part 1 out, and I've been looking forward to part 2 for like 5 years, literally.
Is it still in the making?
It is, yeah. I was reading about it yesterday, and it's because that they couldn't get funds for it until a big studio stepped in and gave them the funds to finish it.
Hmm.
So they should have done early access. It probably would have helped them out.
Yeah. I do want to talk about a game that I haven't finished yet, but I did start playing and I got pretty far. It's called Outer Wilds, and it's actually really it's an interesting indie game. It's basically it sets you're an alien race, and you start out in your home world, I guess you can call it. Each world isn't very big. You can probably run around it in maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So they're not very big, but you start out, it's first person, and you start out knowing basically nothing up to that point. You wake up and you know that this is your first day of going out into the solar system, and you start talking to this guy by the fire. Then if you go around the little village that you're in, all the other alien characters are ask you if you're ready to fly today or whatever. So you get in your ship and you fly around. You go to the different planets and you realize that there was this ancient civilization before you, and you slowly uncover more details through text and more of the story of what happened to them through like dead bodies and stuff like that. It's not gory or anything, just like skeletons. And they were working on different, I don't know how to explain it, but they were trying to I forget exactly what they were trying to uncover, some sort of secret of the universe or something. But you slowly gain more information as you explore the planets, and then every 15 or 20 minutes the universe, your solar system explodes. So you see the sun and it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden it just explodes. And then all these memories start flashing back, and you wake up again back where you started. And then you wake up and no one else knows what you've been through. So you talk to them and you say, you can do an option where you say, what did you just see that? Did you see the sun explode? And they say, I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, good luck on your first day of flying. And then you keep doing that.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you keep doing that until you, I don't know, I guess discover what the secret was of that secret civilization. And I think maybe some of those, and it's weird because it follows characters. So the ancient civilization, you follow these researchers and you know their names and you know that they've been to different planets and different teams and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that maybe a couple of them are still alive, but you find different ones that are dead. And it's almost like you get connected to them. But the game, I don't know, it's really interesting. It's a lot of dialogue, a lot of patience, but as far as I've gotten now, it's really intriguing.
I know you and I like movies like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Chug. I know you like to an extent.
Yeah.
I know Caleb and I like a lot of dialogue in movies.
Yeah.
And when we watch movies all together, some people get annoyed.
Yeah.
They want to watch war movies instead.
Well, I like all the movies that you guys watch. It's just some of the people who only like war movies. Ricky.
Keenan.
But yeah, I like movies like that. Like Knives Out, that was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a little different. I mean, that was a good movie. I did like that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about stuff that has a ton of dialogue.
What's
and
that
then, like,
one movie that you...
Coherence? Is that what
Was
it was
that
called? Yeah, it was this really, really low budget movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was like $50,000 to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with like a group of friends. And all these people aren't even like known actors. They're just random people.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have a dinner party at the same time a solar eclipse. Was it a solar eclipse?
Yeah.
Solar eclipse was happening.
Or maybe, no, I think it was a meteor going over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, meteor going overhead. And all these things just start happening. But it's mostly based around dialogue and the relationships between characters.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting movie.
Pretty
Pretty incredible acting.
It was great, yeah. It was awesome.
And we were watching with Brian, and he left midway because he got bored.
But that's like actually what I was gonna say about Outer Wilds. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It isn't for everyone. It's gonna be a lot of slow, kind of dragging, but you slowly uncover more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone who only likes action and less dialogue, you probably wouldn't like that.
No
then.
way.
Okay.
Well, JD, you and we've started like playing a lot of roguelikes.
Yeah, and I think the first roguelike I really got into was Paint the Town Red Beneath.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played Paint the Town Red.
Yeah, I watched Chuck play it.
Yeah, it's voxel based, so like little blocks, little cubes, but it's very gory because like it'll be a voxel character, and you hit them with a shovel, and then their face will break open and blood will squirt everywhere.
Like you
Just
get
pixel blood.
shotguns, you can blow people's heads up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they came out with a roguelike called Beneath, where you're basically in hell. It's like Doom, but it's a pixel roguelike, and I got really addicted to that for a little while, and that really started my love for roguelike games.
Yeah. Then you got Risk of Rain 2.
Oh yeah,
And then you
Risk of Rain
finally
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you finally got me to get it, and then I loved it.
Yeah, you didn't know if you wanted it at first.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like until
It's really fun.
It is.
We played that for a while. We streamed it like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of videos on it that some of them are doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about those.
Yeah, there's Spelunky. I'm trying to think of the
Noita,
Hades. Yeah.
Roguelikes are just so fun because they're different every time you play them.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a really big budget roguelike before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe it's just not, I guess, profitable enough.
Minecraft hardcore mode.
But I've seen people compare roguelikes to gambling.
Really?
Because you're expecting a different outcome. Like you're like, oh, this time I'm gonna win. This time I'm gonna win. Sometimes you do win, sometimes you don't. But even if you lose, you still enjoy it.
That's where the addiction comes from.
Yeah, so that's why they're so addicting.
Huh.
I'm surprised that big budget publishers haven't capitalized on that. Because it seems like it would benefit them.
Yeah, definitely.
But we don't want them to spoil that genre too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be bad.
What other games?
Yeah, are there any other ones?
Yes. Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We didn't do a podcast on that, did we?
No, not yet.
We talked about it.
We mentioned it in a podcast.
Yeah. That game is fun.
It's mainly supposed to be a VR game. But the whole point is you're the pre-Ghostbusters team. You go into a haunted location and have to locate where the ghost is and what type of ghost it is through different means, such as taking videos of it, checking the temperature in the room. What else?
EMF readers, books.
Yeah, electromagnetic frequencies, a ghost writing book, smudges on the wall with a black light, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you get that information and you sell it to the next crew or whatever. I mean, you can't play as that crew, but essentially you're evidence gatherers. But I think what really gives this game its charm and its terrifying feel is the atmosphere that they're able to pull off.
Yeah.
When you walk into a house, like when you walk into the first door, you open it and you go in, all of a sudden this, I don't know how it's like this empty, dark, deep bass that you feel on your headphones.
Yeah.
It's just like, boo, like right when you walk in, it feels like empty, like the house, no one's in there. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it does so much so well.
And there's a every single time you go into a house, it's random, and I think there's like 12 or 13 different like demons and Onis and different creatures like that.
Yeah. Every ghost has a different personality type of ways they'll attack you or things they're weak to.
Things that will spawn to.
Yeah. There's a ghost talk box. What's it called?
It's called the ghost box.
Spirit box.
Yeah. Spirit box, yeah.
And you can say phrases to the ghost and it'll sometimes respond to you.
Yeah, it responds to your mic.
Yeah. Basically, whether or not you have the spirit box or not, your mic is always on in the game and you can say its name and anger it and it'll come after you.
Yeah.
And it breathes in your ear.
Yeah. One of them even talked to me and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
But when you gather that information, you put it in your book, and then there's like 3 articles of evidence or something
that you need. Yeah.
Yeah. And then depending on which 3 of those are, you'll find out which ghost it is. And then that's pretty much when you leave. But some people get left behind and killed.
Yeah. What I think is a cool detail is how you speak to each other.
Oh, you can do proximity chat?
Yeah. So basically, there's a proximity chat like you mentioned. So how close you are, depending on how close you are to a person, that's you could hear them. So if they're like really up close to you, you can hear them really loud. So when we do this, we use in-game chat, not Discord.
Yeah, we mute Discord.
Yeah. And then if you're far away, you could hear them, but they're quiet. And if they're far away enough, you can't hear them at all. So you have to use radios, which only work if the ghost isn't hunting you.
Yeah. So basically, some of us will be in the trailer outside looking at the screens and gathering evidence, and someone else will be in the house, and you'll hear them screaming on the radio, and then the radio goes silent. And you don't know if they're dead or not. And since they're not in Discord, we can't just ask them if they died. So we have to go and investigate and find their body.
Yeah, one time me and Chug were going back into the house because we had the most sanity, which when your sanity meter goes down, I think you're more vulnerable to getting killed by the ghost. but we were going in, and I was right behind Chug. He went in, and then like I think I turned around, and I turned back, and I was gonna walk in, and the door shut. And this is what's called the hunting, and it's a period of time where the ghost is angry enough, and they'll go out searching for you in the house.
They lock the front door. They disable all communications devices. What else? Your flashlight starts flickering on and off.
But you can hear people in proximity chat if you're close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went on my radio, and all I heard was static, and I was like, I started telling everyone that all of a sudden, the door shut, and Chug is in there alone, and we found his dead body.
Yeah. One time, Caleb was in the room alone, and Chug and I were outside going to help him. We look in the window, and Chug sees this guy with an axe strangling Caleb.
Yeah. That was the first time any of us ever died.
It was terrifying.
All I heard was heavy footsteps. I'm like, I'm on the radio. I'm like, what's going? I think I was on the radio. I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, we have a video of it, and I was like, I screamed or something.
And then your radio just went silent.
Yeah.
And you just died.
It was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then we both walked in the house after, and all I saw was his body sliding down the stairs. And I'm like, nope, I'm out of here.
Yeah. The pacing is so well too. Like they don't do a lot of cheap jump scares. A lot of it is build up.
Yeah.
And then it's not to where like all of a sudden there'll be this giant jump scare. It's more of like you look down a hallway and you see a figure, and then you look back and it's gone or something. Mm-hmm. And then when the hunting happens, that's when all that built up fear just starts to go wild.
When it's hunting, you have to go hide somewhere like in a closet. Mm-hmm. And then if you say anything over your mic, it'll hear you and come to where you are.
A lot of times when we walk in, we want to get more reactions from the ghost. So we'll just repeatedly say the ghost's name.
Yeah. And people on stream also start repeating that too. Yeah. It's kind of funny.
It's a really fun game.
It is. And it's early access too.
I think that's also overwhelmingly positive too.
I think so,
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. Last time I checked, I mean, I could check again, but it's only been out for like a month or so.
When we started playing, it was very positive.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as famous. And then all of a sudden, everybody started playing it.
Yeah, it got a lot of exposure when it came out, because I think it's a good streaming game.
Yeah.
It is.
So a lot of good reactions and stuff, so I think people really were drawn to that.
What do we have for time?
We're over an hour.
Right.
I see hour 0, so we're not at hour and 10
This
minutes
is
yet.
day 1, hour 0.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm checking now. It is overwhelmingly positive still.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good reception.
Even though it has a lot of bugs too, it's still
Yeah, it
just a fun
does.
game.
I want to try it in VR. People say that it's terrifying in VR.
I bet.
Ricky and someone else played it in VR.
Yeah, and they said they couldn't handle it.
I think a lot of the death, or when you die, there's like these ghost hands that like cover your face. I think that was a lot. That was geared towards VR a lot more. So I think while you have that on, you see these hands just creep around. I think
that's
would
probably
be a lot.
terrifying.
Yeah. They're also adding new maps, and I don't think new ghosts.
I wish they'd add new ways for you to die, though. It's the same thing over and over again.
Same.
So
It's still early access, so
yeah, true.
if they listen to the community, it's going to get a lot better.
Oh, and they're also adding an option for you to be the ghost.
That's going to be cool.
I remember that.
And you can only respond to people if they do certain things.
That's cool.
Oh, imagine that though. You can say whatever you want if they have a spirit box.
Yeah.
And then the hunting happens. Oh,
That'd be awesome.
I just hope it's not like OP, because I think multiple people can die in one hunting, right?
Yeah. Maybe they give you the option to kill if they're a low enough sanity.
Yeah, probably.
Because I feel like it would be overpowered
probably.
if you could just kill anybody at any time.
Yeah.
They
You
become
have like an
dumb.
anger meter maybe,
Yeah.
to where like if they say your name enough and do enough things and you get angry or something.
Or sanity. Like if you have a low sanity, they can kill you.
Yeah. That would be cool. I'm
Yeah, that
looking
would.
forward to that. We haven't played it in a while, so.
We should. I was going to say we could stream it tonight, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, there is that one game. Oh, Vector's Edge?
Sector's Edge.
Sector's Edge, okay.
Yeah. That looks a lot like another game called Teardown, which I'm interested in.
Oh, that looks fun.
Basically, it's the whole world is destructible and it's voxel based, but it's still there's smaller voxels, so it looks pretty realistic while still maintaining the blocky feel. And the point is, you got to clear a path for your heist, whatever that heist is, stealing certain things from houses. But it looks like a really fun sandbox game.
It does look fun. I haven't played Sector's Edge, but I know Casey Man in the Discord chat recommended it.
I actually like it. I tried it out.
It came out like 7 days ago or something.
I saw Ben playing it. It looked pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks fun. I think it's cool. Like they could have made it a paid game, but I think games like that, I think it's cool that they made them free.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm. There needs to be some free games out there, some good ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And not the ones that just throw a bunch of loot boxes in your face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like mobile like games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know that was a more, what's the word? We're kind of all
Relaxed.
over the place. Yeah, it was relaxed. We just kind of talked about whatever. But if anyone enjoyed this style, let us know in Discord.
Yeah, definitely.
No one from the podcast seems to talk to us on Discord.
There was
Someone joined our stream and
Yeah.
said they watched us, but
yeah.
we really want some podcast feedback because we
Yeah,
get a ton
definitely.
of YouTube feedback already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you do have some comments or maybe some podcasts you want to see us talk about, then you can find our Discord on CuboldGaming.com and all our other YouTube videos and stuff like that. But we
Yeah.
definitely want.
If you look up Cubold Gaming, the Discord is one of the search results.
Oh really?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but that would be cool because I think we need more suggestions and a little more feedback, which
Mhm.
would be nice.
Eventually, we want to get to the point where we do video podcasts,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
which that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That way, we can have a bigger audience on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot more interactive because we can show clips of like games we're talking about on screen or trailers
Yeah.
of games, stuff like that. So, but yeah, all those indie games that we're talking about, we definitely recommend them if any of them sound interesting to you.
We talked about a lot of them too.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot more.
Those-
we can go on and
Yeah,
on.
literally, it's ridiculous.
We just didn't want to make this a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast.